do you feel like a certain pressure, having to have that role of being, to steer the ship or whatnot? And how do you take care of that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Absolutely. I've, kind of a little on topic, but out of the finance thing a little bit. But I've been listening to multiple podcasts recently about like relationships and the dating crisis and all these different things, and it's interesting to hear like what women think and guys, and when I'm listening to these guys talk, it's like, oh yeah, that's like absolutely that's how I see it, and it's like if I was to lose my ability to provide for my family, like, I lose a lot of value, like, it's a very, like that's a very hallmark type thing in my of what I do. It's like, if I can't do that, if I can't protect my family, if I can't provide for my family, like, that really takes a hit on my self-esteem and honestly of what I spent my life kinda doing. So, I think navigating it a couple ways is the headspace is hard. We moved to Colorado 7, 8 years ago, had a modestly successful business in Florida, painting space, and we did well, but it wasn't nothing like what we have now, and we took a big risk. We uprooted, shut down the business, started a new business in a place that we've never lived, didn't know anyone, and started from scratch, and best decision I ever made in my life, and, yeah, there was no safety net, so I think the question was, is like, how do I handle what's the pressure? Yeah, I mean, it's relentless, the pressure. And you have I think something that's really good for me is, and I think, um, gosh, I forget their name. I think it's the Diary of a CEO. They've done a couple podcasts about like masculinity and relationships and different things. And the guy I mentioned earlier, Scott Galloway, was on there with another girl, and they were talking about this. And I think it's so true. There's a weight, that we have of as, kind of the breadwinners of a family. But one of the things that's been really helpful for me, and they actually encouraged it, and we're seeing more of this, is having small groups. And you kind of see this in religious communities, in a church or synagogue or whatever. But having a community is really what it is being able to have conversation like this. We don't really know each other that well, and so we're getting to know one another, but we're able to relate because we have a similar backstory, and we've had hardships, and you're able to talk about it, and just being open and transparent. Don't whine. No one wants to hear you whine about it, but let's talk about it and find solutions. And I think I've had the benefit of having specifically other men who are in similar walks. I have a brother who's in the same kind of space as I'm in as far as being an entrepreneur. That's been really helpful. And, you know, a friend of mine, one time we were talking, and we were talking about just like, you're a parent and you're a husband and you're running a business, and it gets hard sometimes. And he's like, yeah, and it's hard. Yeah, it's hard. But it's like, yeah, it's just hard. Yeah. And there's nothing to take away the hardness. It's like if you're running a marathon, when you get to the end, like it's just hard. You're tired, and you want to quit, but you can't. You just have to keep going. And so really, I think what the community does is like, hey, yeah, like you're not the only one that's having hardship. You're not the only one that feels that pressure. That's a normal thing to feel that pressure, but you have to stay consistent, push through the pressure, get to the other side, and figure out what it should look like. And, a little bit of uncomfortableness is a good thing. Like, put your hand on a fire. Like, that uncomfortableness is telling you you should move your hand, because if you don't, you're going to get permanent damage. And so that uncomfortableness can be a really good thing. And you sometimes you just need a little perspective, because when you're isolated, you can feel like, oh, I'm just going to kind of get in my hole, and woe is me. My life is difficult. My life is hard. And it's like, well, my life has been harder than some and easier than others, but everyone just kind of has their own path they have to kind of navigate and get through. And so I think community, and having some thoughtful people around me has been a great thing. Yeah, Seth Godin, notorious blog writer. Not everyone can get a mentor, but we can all have a hero. And, we may not I mean, I don't have access to a relationship with, name your favorite CEO, but today I can watch a lot of their stuff online and I can learn from 'em and they can be my hero. So I may not know Superman, but I can find him online.
Yes. Oh, man, that's good. That's good.